All right, you wanted to download on Alphabet's Q3 earnings, right? Well, strap in because we're going deep on this thanks to some insightful reports from Motley Fool and Alpha Street.
Yeah, there's a lot of buzz out there. AI this, cloud that, Gemini. But we're going to break it all down and see what it really means for Alphabet going forward.
The big question everyone's asking,
hmm
is AI actually making Alphabet money?
It looks like it, just based on this quarter.
Let's hear the headline numbers.
Okay, so revenue up 15% to, get this, $88.3 billion.
Whoa.
Yeah. And net income, even crazier, up 34%. And you know what that means?
Stock's probably happy.
After hours trading is through the roof. Investors are definitely liking what they see with these AI moves.
So it's not just hype, there's real return on these investments. Impressive. But let's dig deeper. Search revenue, I'm guessing, still king?
Still huge, yep, up a solid 12%.
Okay, steady as she goes.
But here's the thing, YouTube ads grew at the same rate, 12%.
Doesn't sound earth-shattering, but...
It could be a sign of things to come.
Okay, I'm all ears. What's so significant about YouTube ads matching search growth?
Well, it suggests that people aren't just watching funny videos, they're using YouTube for information, for product research, and you know what that means for advertisers.
Prime real estate.
Especially as Alphabet weaves AI into the platform.
So it's not just the raw numbers, it's what those numbers tell us about user behavior and about Alphabet's strategy.
Got it.
Now, another winner for Alphabet this quarter.
Cloud. Huge growth there.
How huge are we talking?
Alpha Street put it at a 35% jump in revenue, bringing it to $11.4 billion.
Not too shabby.
And this really shows that their investment in AI infrastructure is paying off. They're attracting big clients who want that AI power.
Speaking of AI, remember those early AI overviews? Everyone had a good laugh at those.
Oh, yeah.
But Alpha Street's saying that users are finding them helpful now.
They're actually pretty good now, yeah. It shows that Alphabet listens, you know? They didn't just give up. They kept tweaking things, made it more accurate, more useful.
And if it's useful, advertisers will follow.
Exactly. Could be a real moneymaker down the road.
Playing the long game. Which brings us to their big AI bet, Gemini. That chatbot they're putting into everything, even search, right?
Everywhere, yeah. And they're spending serious cash to make it happen.
How serious?
Well, their new CFO, Anat Ashkenazi, she said to expect even higher capital expenditures in 2025.
So they're putting their money where their mouth is.
They think Gemini is going to be the AI assistant, the one to beat, you know, Amazon, TikTok, everyone.
Bold move for sure. Banking on AI to be the future. But while all this AI stuff is making headlines, there's one area that's been quietly doing very well.
Subscriptions.
Right. Steady, reliable growth.
Yep. Motley Fool and Alpha Street, they both pointed to the continued growth of YouTube subscriptions, especially YouTube TV and YouTube Music Premium. Makes you wonder.
Is that the future of media?
Could be.
It's smart though, right? Everyone's focused on the AI fireworks, but Alphabet's also building a solid foundation with these subscriptions, like a diversified portfolio.
For sure. They're not putting all their eggs in one basket. It shows real long-term thinking. They're not just chasing trends. They're building a business that can last.
So, before we go deeper into these earnings,
Yeah?
what's jumping out at you so far?
Honestly, I think it's how well Alphabet's adapting to this crazy digital world. They're not just reacting, they're shaping the future with AI. But at the same time, they're not putting all their chips on one bet. Those subscriptions are giving them a safety net no matter what happens.
They're playing it smart. All right, I'm ready for the next layer. What the sources say about Google's surprise decision on cookies. That was a head-scratcher.
Yeah, that was a curveball. Yeah, that was a curveball. The whole ad tech world was caught off guard by that one, especially after all that talk about the privacy sandbox.
Right. Motley Fool's transcript of the Q2 earnings call, they were all about the privacy sandbox. The answer to privacy AN, targeted ads.
Well, it seems like they're putting more emphasis on user choice now, like actually letting people opt out of cookie tracking.
So they're acknowledging that people want more control over their data.
Definitely.
But what does that mean for advertisers? They rely on that cookie data.
Yeah, it's tricky. People want privacy, but advertisers need data to reach the right people, make their ads effective. Google's trying to find that balance.
So it affects the whole advertising ecosystem, not just Alphabet. Will other browsers follow suit? Will ad tech companies need to change their whole approach? Lots of questions.
Tons. And it shows you how much power Google has. They're not just going with the flow, they're setting the direction. Speaking of challenges, there's also the competition.
Right. Alpha Street was highlighting how Amazon and TikTok are becoming real players in the digital ad game.
They're snapping up advertisers with their unique audiences and those new ad formats. It's the classic underdog story.
The giant versus the upstarts. But Google's been here before. Remember when everyone thought Facebook would take over search?
They're tough to beat. And their secret weapon this time, AI.
Those search overviews, Gemini, could give them a real edge.
For both users and advertisers, yeah.
Like, they're using AI to double down on their strengths. A&D build for the future. And it's not just about search.
Nope. Those YouTube subscriptions we talked about, that's another smart play. Diversifies their income, makes them more resilient.
Multiple layers of defense. Speaking of defense, we can't ignore the economy. Things are a bit shaky out there. Has to affect ad spending, right?
Both sources mention that. Economic headwinds, they called them. But they also pointed to Alphabet's strong finances, the fact that they have multiple sources of revenue. They're in a good position to ride out the storm.
Good to know they're not just betting everything on AI and hoping for the best. They're planning ahead.
Absolutely. Thinking long term. Which brings up another challenge, the whole regulatory situation.
Right. AlphaStreet mentioned that Google's under a lot of scrutiny, especially with search.
Some regulators are even saying they should be broken up. Pretty serious stuff.
It's a tough one. Google's become essential for so many people, but there are concerns about their market dominance and whether they're playing fair.
It's a balancing act for regulators. Fair competition, but also recognizing the value Google provides. And it's not just search either. Their whole ad business is under the microscope.
Data privacy, targeted ads, market manipulation, lots of hot-button issues.
With great power comes great responsibility, right?
Yeah.
As Alphabet gets bigger, more influential, the pressure is on to act ethically, to be transparent.
They're not just a tech company, they're a force shaping the digital world. And that comes with expectations.
Speaking of responsibility, can't forget about the misinformation problem.
It's a battle for every social media platform, including YouTube. They've put a lot of effort into content moderation, but it's a never-ending fight.
It's like a hydra, right? You cut off one head, two more grow back.
And the tactics keep evolving, especially with AI getting more sophisticated. People are using AI to spread misinformation, to find new ways to exploit the system.
Technology, it's a double-edged sword. Powerful for good, but also for harm. And Alphabet, with all its resources and its reach, it has a responsibility to fight this. Content moderation, developing new tools to stop harmful content, working with experts.
It's not just about taking down content, it's about making the online world a healthier place. Media literacy, supporting credible sources, encouraging real conversations.
It's complex, but Alphabet can't ignore it. Their reputation depends on it.
And not just Alphabet's reputation, but the health of the whole digital ecosystem.
For sure. We all have a part to play in that. And amidst all this talk about technology and challenges, got to remember the human factor.
Right, we built all this. We have to make sure it works for us, not the other way around.
Exactly, especially as we move into this AI-powered future. We need to make sure AI helps us, not replaces us. No bias in algorithms, transparency, ethical considerations.
Using AI to make us better, not to become us.
It's a big task, but it's a conversation we need to have now, before AI takes over.
Absolutely. So, as we head into the final stretch of this deep dive, let's keep that human element in mind. What did the sources say about where AI is going and how it'll impact Alphabet's core businesses?
Now that's where things get really interesting. It feels like we're at this turning point, you know?
Yeah, like a whole new era of tech is about to begin.
And Alphabet's right in the middle of it, driving it. Both Motley Fool and AlphaStreet, they made it clear their big bets on AI, that's where they see the future. And it's not just one thing. They're putting AI in everything.
Search, YouTube, the cloud.
Even self-driving cars with Waymo, yeah. It's like they're diddling this AI world that'll be all around us.
An AI ecosystem. But what does that mean for their bread and butter stuff? How will AI change the Google we all know?
Well, take search, for example. What if instead of just typing words, you could actually talk to search? Like, have a conversation with an AI that gets what you're really looking for.
Like it reads your mind almost.
Almost, yeah. It could figure out what you need before you even know it, give you personalized results, help you discover things you never would have thought of.
It's not just finding a website anymore. It's about real understanding. Like having a research partner right there with you.
Exactly, and that's what Gemini's all about. If they make it work the way they're saying, it could change everything about how we find and use information.
That's huge.
And it goes beyond search, too. Think about YouTube. AI could pick out the perfect videos for you, even make videos just for you based on your interests.
Wow. So instead of scrolling through endless videos, you get your own personal guide leading you to the stuff you'll love.
Right, it'd be like a custom learning experience or an entertainment channel made just for you. And that's just the beginning. AI could do the video editing, translate subtitles, and maybe even invent whole new kinds of interactive content.
I can barely keep up. And this ties back to what we were talking about before. Is AI going to shake things up? Will it give new creators a chance?
It's a good question. AI could make it easy for anyone to make great content, right? So maybe we'll see tons of new voices, new ideas out there.
Democratizing creativity.
But there's also the flip side. What if the companies with the best AI, they just get even more powerful?
So it's not just the tech itself, it's who controls it. We need to be shaping this future, not just letting it happen to us.
Couldn't agree more. And that puts Alphabet in a really interesting position. They have the power to influence how AI is developed, how it's used all over the world. What they do will affect everyone.
No pressure.
Yeah.
And like we've seen in this deep dive, they've got a lot on their plate. Regulations, misinformation, keeping users happy, all while trying to innovate. It's a balancing act.
For sure. But it's also exciting, isn't it? We're seeing this huge shift in technology, and Alphabet's leading the way.
So if you're following Alphabet, what should you be watching for?
Don't just look at the numbers. Look for those little hints about their vision. How are they using AI? How are they dealing with the government? Are they doing things ethically? Those are the signs that tell you where they're going and maybe where the whole tech world is going. That's the big picture.
That's the takeaway. This has been an incredible deep dive. I really feel like I understand what's driving Alphabet now. It's not just about tech. It's about strategy, about responsibility, about how these choices affect us all.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's a story that goes way beyond just money and markets. It's about the future we're creating with every bit of code we write.
Yeah.